Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton, and Samantha Power were three officials within the Obama administration who have been called military humanists, meaning they argued for U.S. military intervention and regime change on the basis of protecting human rights or preventing genocide. And these three women were the people within the administration who were pushing the hardest for the US-led NATO intervention in Libya. They thought it'd be nice to have a successful democratic transition, aka regime change, on their resumes. That actually gets you props within the American political establishment. So as the NATO intervention was beginning, Saif Gaddafi, the son of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, reached out to Hillary Clinton in the US and offered to surrender. But by that time, it was too late. Hillary wanted war. Gaddafi also warned the US that they weren't funding and arming freedom fighters, but gangsters and extremist groups. Later on, not only would we find out that this was true, but also that the US had no idea the ideology of the people that they were arming. But the majority of them were jihadist extremists and international criminals. Despite this, the US used atrocity propaganda to justify bombing Libya and arming these extremists who they portrayed as freedom-fighting rebels, claiming that Gaddafi was giving his soldiers Viagra so they could commit extra sexual assaults, which later turned out to not be true. Also claiming that there was going to be an imminent attack by Gaddafi on Benghazi, which later reports found not to be true. Before the US invaded, Gaddafi had also given up his very small nuclear program and his chemical weapons program in an attempt to appease the US. But as we said earlier, the war hawks within the Obama administration would not be appeased. They wanted war. They wanted it on their resumes. So the Libyan state was toppled, Muammar Gaddafi was killed, and the country was taken over by extremist groups and warlords. Many of these warlords have persecuted and killed minority groups in Libya, the same people who these three promised to protect with this intervention. But of course, the narcissists have never apologized. Libya now has a horrific human trafficking problem, and refugees are fleeing in mass, many of them drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, and many of them making it to Europe, where anti-Muslim extremism has continued to rise. It's a complete disaster that was created by Obama and the power-hungry war hawks within his administration. At the end of the day, this war was created because the US wanted Libya's mineral wealth, and they didn't want Libya to continue prospering with their socialistic economy, but also because of the careerist political ambitions of the psychopaths in Washington, people who are still in positions of power to this day.